Welcome back to the I Got It Girl podcast. And today I'm bringing one of my sisters from another mister, as we say, because every time we say something, we're like, me too. So today I get to introduce you to the amazing Wendy. And am I going to say this right? Taddeucci?
Oh my God.
Oh, I
100%.
did it.
Nice job.
Yes. Woohoo.
Oh,
I
you.
everyone who tries to say my name, they forget to ask until they're in the middle of a podcast. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Because then people can differentiate between the wrong way and the right way. So,
Okay, Cote.
yeah,
Cote?
it's good to, yep,
What do you
you
get
got it.
that's like odd? I have to know.
Because people say Cody. Coat and Cody are the two most popular. So because there's no accent over the E's, they don't know that there's any like AY feeling to it.
Oh,
But I got your name right. That's right. So
yeah,
Wendy
you
and
did.
I, Wendy and I met through a fellow networking group called Polka Dot Powerhouse, and we have just loved each other's energy ever since. And so I'm just going to hand it to you, Wendy, and I want you to just tell the world anything you want to share, personal or professional, about yourself. That and we're big Gilmore Girl fans for those of you listening. So and she's more of the Gilmore Girl expert than I am. So feel free to reach out to her. All right, Wendy, tell us all about yourself.
Feel free to stump me with any kind of Gilmore Girls trivia. Believe me, I can quote the dialogue. Anyway, let's see, where do I begin? So I will just start out with my passion and what I do for a living. They are one thing. Um, I get to help overwhelmed women off of the path of overwhelm and anxiety and burnout and onto the path that's flowery and filled with beautiful white fluffy clouds and blue sky of ease and flow. And so that they can have that, I call it the calm advantage, because
Mhm,
calm is a strategy, right? And I'm giving them
mhm,
that advantage by allowing them to slow down, allowing them to receive, and many other things. And when that happens, business shows up, money shows up, opportunities show up. And guess what? They're not working as hard. They're not
right,
pushing that boulder up the hill anymore. Because that's why I'm here today, because I was one of those women.
right,
Boulder up the hill, sick, isolated myself, bad results. So let's see. Gilmore Girls fan, that's what I do for a living. Um, okay, I have to do this because I showed it to you and I'm still laughing over this. So I see everybody online posting their AI, like it's really cool looking like caricatures and like it's like a whole page. And I'm like, that's really cool. Well, I was noticing that, and the divine sent me a message and said, ask AI to create you a strawberry shortcake as a cartoon. And I went, okay, sounds like fun. I was not prepared for this. I am
For those of you listening to the
still,
podcast, it is the most adorable strawberry shortcake graphic by AI. And if those of you who are in the same age range of strawberry shortcake, you remember you used to want to scratch and sniff her because of the smell, right?
yeah. And it says,
Yes.
welcome to Strawberry Land. So, I mean, just, yeah, that's my wacky,
Love it.
weird personality.
Love it. So I feel like whether you're listening or watching the video and listening, you could really get to know Wendy just by that right there.
Just
She's
that's
just
it.
a pleasure to be around. And I'm
Oh,
not asking you to please don't scratch and sniff her. Thank you.
I didn't
That would
shower
be
today though, so it's
that would
okay.
be
Oh,
weird.
and I smell like strawberry.
Yes, I love it. So, okay. So, as you guys know, this is the I Got a Girl podcast. And if it's your first time listening, the I Got a Girl is a description of the woman who really has probably lived her life from survival, fear, control, like holding on that death grip of control, that wheel, if you want to call it. And there's a point you can have an amazing life. You become fiercely independent as that kind of woman. The woman just, she does everything herself. It's everything's on her shoulders. She'll open up the door herself when she's got 3 suitcases on her head. You know the drill.
Yeah.
And then there's a point where you realize that you're just not you're missing out on things like true love. Like you don't allow yourself to fully love or be loved. And that was one of my things. You don't allow yourself to truly trust and allow and surrender surrender. What the heck is that? Right. I lived a very masculine energy life. So hearing that, where do you what story pops up for you where you were that woman who was just, I got it. I don't need any help. I'm good. No, 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 no. And then you had to decide different. You had to shift so that you could thrive from more and have more love, have more joy, have more freedom, have more trusting and surrendering in life and allowing universe God, you know. So what comes up for you? I know there's probably a lot of moments. So for all of us, but what one sticks out to you the most?
Oh yeah, there's so many, but the one that sticks out the most was actually, it's part of my turning point. It's where I changed. So
Mm,
I was that woman, that girl for like all my freaking life, right?
mhm, right?
Up until probably 46, right?
Same. That's so funny. We have
Oh,
so much in common.
good
Like
grief.
literally like from 7 till 46, 47.
Yeah. Oh, I was like probably 5 or 6, because my dad died when I was 6. And I think that's what
Mom
switched.
died when I was 5. Almost 6, like 5.5, 6, right?
Oh,
Right? I'm telling you, sister from another mister. All right,
oh,
continue.
I'm getting chills. Anyway, okay. Yeah. So the turning point. I had all my life did everything for everyone else. You're saying, I got it. Oh yeah. I would be exhausted, tired, doing all the things for everybody else. Oh no, I got that too. Oh, God. Burned myself out. Adrenals were almost shot. Not good results. So, but this was my turning point, and I was still a hot mess. I got chosen to be one of the speakers at a conference. Now, this
Hmm.
is back in the day. I was not a coach yet. I was a professional organizer.
Oh,
Professional organizer,
excellent.
right? Fit my personality back then. Type A, control freak. Oh, that's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Right. And so I saw this as an opportunity to just really nail my speech, just right. And just show everybody how brilliant I was, and look at me kind of thing. Baloney. So I get to conference and I decide I'm not going to interact with anybody. I am going to keep to myself. I'm going to stay in my room. I did not have roommates. I do not, I don't need that energy. I just need to be by myself, practice my speech and nail it, nail it, nail it, and just be in that focus and be in that energy. And so that's what I did for 3 days, 3 days of this 3 day conference, right?
No people for 3 days.
No, not really. I mean, I went to the sessions and I, chit chat and then whoop, back up to the room, had my dinner, whoop, back up to the room. Um, and now looking back, I'm like, what was wrong with, nothing was wrong with me. It was just
You were
where I
keeping
was
in
at that
control.
point. What?
You had to keep control of the scenario, like the situation. You're like,
Yes.
no one can
That's
penetrate
it.
this controllable.
Yeah. Yeah. Control. Boy, I see that a lot in my work. Anyway,
Hmm.
I was in control because I couldn't lose that grip of control. And that's how I kept it. Right.
Hmm.
So, day 3, afternoon of the 3 day conference, last session of the day, I get up there to speak. And I bombed.
Sorry, not laughing at you.
Oh, you can. I bombed
Three.
hard. So hard. The room was full when I started. People just started walking out. And by the time I was done, it might have been like 10 people. There might have been 10 people. And it took me years to talk about this and actually laugh about it, right? But
Hmm.
you do the internal work and this is what happened. So that happened. And so I got on the plane to go home, tail between my legs. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I started asking myself, what could I have done differently? Now, anybody that's listening or watching is probably going, well, duh. Among people, be part of the energy, be connected. Yeah, it took me the entire plane ride to work that out.
Hmm.
And I was finally like, oh, I was not connected at all. And to a deeper level, I was isolated. It personally, I had no friends, really. I kept to myself. I kept my head down and just kept pushing and working. And this didn't work, so I'm going to try this. And this didn't work, so I'm going to get this new thing. And this didn't work, so I'm going to do this thing. And it's exhausting. And that's what I started to realize on the plane ride home. That's as far as I got, right? But it was a big,
Hmm.
it was a big piece, right?
Hmm.
And from that question, what could I have done differently? Oh, connection. And then a woman who she's an organizer. She's no longer an organizer either. She's a coach now. So funny. She came into my realm and we started talking. We started communicating. And I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to be connected. This is what it feels like to let someone else in. This is what it feels like to be seen, to start showing my faults, not let go of control because I wasn't ready to do that, right?
Hmm.
But just kind of let her see a little bit of me. I didn't want to be
Hmm.
fully seen because, oh, wow, she'll judge me. I'm judging myself, right? I'm
Hmm.
working so hard and I'm getting nowhere. I'm a failure, right? All
Mm.
that that's all just going on and going
Head
on.
trash.
And so I started connecting with her. I started connecting with Polka Dot Powerhouse, right?
Mhm.
I started letting myself be seen.
Mm.
Um, and so that was my shift. That moment. It's like I feel like, and I've thought this many times in my life. Remember the parable story, whatever, the phoenix, right? Rising
Mhm.
from the ashes.
Mhm.
I have felt like that phoenix many times, and this was one of those
Mhm.
times. But this time was different because I was like, oh, what can I do differently?
Yeah, because you asked the question. That's a really important different. We usually so just for my own clarity, you were like that in everyday life and you brought that into that talk. Like so you didn't really you kept to yourself in everyday life previous to this. Because
Totally.
knowing you now, I can't imagine it, right? Like I think a lot of us, after you do the work and you realize you get to be supported, you get to have community, you get to have all these things, you don't have to do it all alone.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine. I didn't know you then. Like, what? You didn't have friends and you didn't talk to people? Like, you're so lovely. Like, why would you like what I don't understand. And so let's backtrack a second
Yeah.
and tell me a little bit more about how was that created? Like what created that version of you that just felt the need to
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of pieces create that, but what do you
A
think
lot
was
of
the biggest
pieces.
contributor to you being recluse, isolated, not really wanting to be with people? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
what came from that? I mean, what created that?
That's a great question. Many things, and I think the switch got turned on after my dad passed away because I had no control over that. I had no control over how my life just changed. I was
Mhm.
6. I didn't know fully. I
Right.
just knew
I know
things
I
were
didn't
different.
understand it. I
Right?
I asked my dad if I could go back and play when he told me that mom died. I was like,
Yeah,
"Can I go back and play?"
same. Oh my God. Same. My mom, like, I think it was the day of his funeral, went to his funeral. I kind of vaguely remember that. My mom just came in my room later and she was just like, we're all low. It's just you and me. And she's breaking down and crying. And I'm like, um, can I go do something, literally anything else? Right.
Right.
Uh, so that happened. And I think that showed me at 6 years old, I had control. I could control how my room looked. I was doing my laundry by the time I was like 8 or 9 because I could
Yep.
control that. I was doing the dishes at that time.
Mhm.
Oh, girl, you're shaking your head. I
Yeah,
was you
everything. Like I
right?
if you needed to eat, you had to
Yeah.
figure out how to cook and
You
make
figure
something. You
yeah,
figured it out. If
exactly.
we needed to. And
Yeah.
and if some of you have listened to other podcast episodes of mine, but if it's your first time, like I'm a family of 6 kids and 2 stepkids eventually, and but I'm the baby, and everybody was older than me. So, and my dad ran a construction company, so it was like, and I'm assuming your mom had to work, right? And so there was, if she didn't work, like
She
there
was
was,
grieving.
yeah, there was this
Yeah.
time frame that my dad would just he just worked to like get through it, and it was 80
Same.
hours a week. So I had to
Yeah.
get find my way to school myself.
Oh,
And
wow.
we moved to different houses and had to figure out like, okay, which
Mm.
bus do I get on? I got on
Oh,
the wrong bus and
wow.
for the 4th grade, and I cried when I got to the school. I'm like, I don't know this school. Like, what is this?
Yes.
And so, but you learn how to adapt and you learn how to
Yep.
get
Yeah.
shit done at a very
Yeah.
young age when you're in
Oh,
that
yeah.
scenario. And
Oh, yeah.
my dad did the best he could. You know what I mean? I adore him. He's my
Yep.
hero, but that's all he
Mhm.
knew how to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Same. Looking back, so my mom, she didn't work, so we got Social Security, thank
mhm,
God. And
mhm,
then my dad was smart enough before he passed away to create a trust or some
excellent.
income because he knew, right? He had like a year. So Thank God, Dad. Thank you, Dad, for taking care of us, right? But Mom, a lot of times she was in bed. She just couldn't get out of bed. And so my
Mm-hmm.
grandparents lived like the next road over, and they would pick me up from school when Mom forgot, because she did. And she was doing the best that she could. Now, I did get driven to school. I would ride the bus also, but we never moved and I still got on the wrong damn bus.
I love it.
Anyway, um, but I became that girl that got shit done. I
Mm-hmm.
was great at getting shit done because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to think, I didn't have to feel. I was in control. Ooh, that was wonderful.
All right, we got to pause that
Wonderful.
for a second. We're going to pause there for a second because you
Yeah.
said I didn't have to feel.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that because
Yeah.
that was a big one for me. I didn't feel till I was
Right.
47. Like feel, like really wow
Same.
myself.
Same. Oh my God, Jackie. So it wasn't until probably 46, 47, something like that, that I felt. And that's when I started grieving my dad
Mm-hmm. Same.
because I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't, because I didn't know what that was. Someone asked me, why I never celebrated my dad's birthday. Like, because we just didn't. We just didn't. And that started getting me curious. Why don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Why did we never talk about that? We never talked about dad after that day of the funeral in my room, maybe because mom was like, "Ooh, I don't want to bad reaction." She
Mm-hmm.
didn't even want to talk about it. Well, I was 6. Or 5, whatever I was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I forget the question you just asked me.
Feelings. So feelings, we
Oh,
tend
that's what
to,
yeah.
yeah, we don't, we, I know for mine, and
Yeah.
feel like we have similar. I was like, it's no big, I felt like a no big deal that mom died because I didn't understand it at 5. So I never knew I
Yeah.
had to process or grieve or anything like that. Right. And
Yeah.
so you go fast forward 40 years
Right.
of just like, just stuffing down, like, and I use different mechanisms to deal with
Mhm.
that, whether
Mhm.
someone has food, alcohol, eating disorders, whatever it is
Mhm.
that manages those feelings. Like
Mhm.
mine was bulimia, and that helped me manage feelings one way or the other.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't realize that's what was helping me do that until I keyed it together and learned about myself when I started
Mhm.
this journey of self-development, right? And healing and coaching and all that other stuff.
Okay.
And I didn't understand until I understood that I get to be safe to feel. It was never safe to feel my feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, and I probably got that subliminal. My mother, man, she's the most stoic woman I have ever met. She is tough as nails. That woman, you can't hug her. She's not a hugger. She'll do one of
Mm-hmm.
these things. So funny. I'm a hugger. I've become a hugger. Anyway, mom stoicism, I was like, oh, okay, got it. Just nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. We are 2 independent women, right? As I was growing up. Thank God
Mm-hmm.
I had that. By the way. Thank God
Yeah,
I had that.
let me say to that. Thank you for saying that because when I
Yeah.
say the I got a girl, I'm not putting down the I got a girl version of us. There's some like she's an amazing woman,
Yeah.
and she brings a lot of amazing qualities, and we learn to become so
Right.
strong, fierce, all that other stuff. It's that we get to live a more enhanced life,
Yep. Get to.
and we get to move forward, right? We get to like
Exactly.
let go of the control and release. But
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the I got a girl is a bad thing. I mean, she's an excellent part of us, and
Yeah.
we got it. Sorry.
Yeah. We get
We
to, oh
got it.
gosh. Yes. And so the feeling thing, that was another big turning point. There were many.
Mhm.
I too, I stuffed my feelings down with food. I had like back then, I would eat an entire pizza by myself
Mhm.
because I
Oh, and then I'd
just,
go binge it
and I didn't realize
for a day.
what I was doing until I realized what I was doing, right?
Mhm.
As you read and you learn, you're like, "Oh." So I didn't know what I was doing when I started feeling and I allowed myself to feel. So here's why I say I didn't know what I was doing. So my husband and I were in Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble? He was looking at books, magazines, whatever, and I was wandering around and I came across the journal section. And I was just drawn to that. And I'm like, huh, a journal. Oh, I could get all these thoughts and feelings out. I could get this out of me. Oh, and so this is not the same journal. I have bought this probably like 5 or 8 times over, right? This is the
Beautiful.
journal, but this is a version of the journal that I bought.
And those of you listening, it's this beautiful tree on the cover, which I love
The
trees.
tree
I
of life.
geek out over trees, tree of
And
life.
it's like there's a heart in the center, and there's sparkles, and there's people and animals, and there's rainbows and everything. So I got this journal, and I wasn't one of those, oh, I got to journal every single morning. Baloney. I decided to let it be easy. And I was just like, whenever I feel like I need to get something out of my head or my heart, I'm going to crack this thing open. And boy, there were tears. There was anger. I let it all out. It was ugly in those pages.
Mhm. Did you do that on your own, or did someone tell you to do that?
Yeah, on my own. Well, okay, probably the divine told me to do it.
Yeah, and I give you a lot of credit for that, because it took it. I seriously do, because when I say the word journal to people, 99% of us are like, I ain't journaling. I'm not doing it. Like, because we think as women, we had these little like diaries as kids, and then your brother would read it, and like, just, or someone would like come across it, or you just didn't like have the know-how. Like you said, I didn't know. So when I was first asked by a coach to like do you journal, I was like, no, hell no, I don't do that. Like, shit, books, what, this, that. So I had to be I had to be coachable to try it. And I'm still the ADHD child of self-care and journaling. Like, I will like write something down and then like never write again for like a month, and then write again, and then I'm all over the board.
Yep. Yeah. And that's however you need to do it, you do
And
it.
that's okay. You're right.
And I will tell you, I'm probably 5 or 8 journals of this, deep. I think I have this one. This is actually the only one I have. I say have because last year I looked at all the journals I had stacked up that I had poured everything into, and I was like, you know what? I'm no longer that woman in those journals. And so I am going to thank them, and I'm going to release them. And so I tore all those pages out and I shredded them because I don't want anybody seeing that nonsense. Not nonsense. It was not nonsense, but it was like, ooh, I'm releasing her. I'm thanking her for everything that she brought to me and all the lessons. But goodbye.
And I want to pin this moment too for people who are listening, that we get to really love every part of us.
Yeah.
And we tend to want to like get angry or be pissed off, or God, how could you be so stupid? We say stuff like that to ourselves about the past version of us. And your point here is really, really important, is that I get to thank them. I get to like, whether there's forgiveness, thankfulness, appreciation, grace, whatever it is, to those past versions of yourself, they all are part of who we are. And we get to appreciate every single version of that. The 12-year-old who had to make a decision that they shouldn't have had to make at 12. The 19-year-old who had to, go through something, and nobody there to help her go through it, like, but made stupid decisions, what you call stupid now, where they were survival decisions. You know what I mean? So like really appreciating every version of us is really important, I think. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. I forgot what the question was that you asked me.
No, there's no question. This is what I love about these conversations, because we never know where it's going to lead us. And so now, so you went through this version of you that was very isolated, very like independent, self-sufficient, stoic, as you said, called your mom. You probably brought on that same, like, we are very, put together women. Like we got it. We don't need anybody's help. Like, and of course that usually comes from like, we don't, for me, I didn't want to be a burden because my dad had so much on his plate already. So that's my story. Sometimes I've heard the story that we don't need any help because it's a shame. It's shame to be, or it's weak to not need other people's help.
That's
or
what
this
I
and
was.
that.
Yep, back
Is that
then.
what you were talking? Okay.
That was me.
I was
Back
going to
then.
say, what relates to, like, what do you relate to on that? And then I want to, we told us where the shift started, but what led you from, well, first of all, tell me what you relate to. Like, what are some of those stories that you told yourself
Oh,
that
gosh.
kept you?
Well, so growing up without a dad, I was different, right?
Hmm.
And I felt that. And also I was treated differently, right? And it just was.
Yep.
And that made me show up as, you know what, fine, whatever. I'm going to do my own thing. Just buzz
Hmm.
off. Leave me
Hmm.
alone. Nah. And that's who I identified with. And also because I didn't have a father, right? And we were on Social Security. We didn't have a lot of money.
Hmm. Hmm.
We made it, thank God. But it was not easy. We didn't have a lot of things. It still irritates me. Even my mom's brothers and her nieces and nephews, my family of origin, who I don't family with, because no, it's not healthy. I remember they would come over and they would make comments on our carpeting, on our furniture, on the clothes I was wearing. And I'm like, at that young age, I was just like, uh, what? Right? I wouldn't say anything, but I'd be like, this doesn't seem right.
Hmm.
So there was shame, right?
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
shame. And so that's what I related to.
Yeah. And so you have this epiphany, you have this stage moment, you you're journaling, you realize like and beautiful that you're very you can tell that you've got this you learned about intuition early on, but you didn't know what it was until later on, probably, right?
Yeah,
Like you
exactly.
intuitively knew getting this stuff out on paper would help because I needed to be told that girl. I was so blocked off from like any feminine energy, any feminine actions, because masculine's the doing and the feminine is the being. I
Mhm.
was so closed off from the being because of the represent how my dad functioned, how my family functioned, how
Yeah,
I
right.
was all boys and this and that.
Yeah, yeah,
and and I was like, when I was told like be, feel, meditate, journal, I was like, you're crazy. Like this, how can this be productive? Like, how could this help
right,
me?
right,
9 months later, I'm crying on my bed for 9 months straight. So because of the healing, because of the like releasing, because of these
right.
activities.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you're at this point now. What happened next after that event when you started realizing I need people? You said about connecting with Polka Dot, connecting with that friend.
Yeah,
What led you into this
yeah.
business and doing what you do now?
A couple of different things. I laugh. Um, so what led me to this business and what led me to who I am now?
Hmm.
Because believe me, back then you would not have recognized me. Anyway, type
Yeah.
A, very like that's me back then.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Very,
right.
very
Mouth
stoic, like your mom.
clenched, stoic. So what got me here, I hired a coach. Now, here's the caveat behind that. This coach, God love her, she would call and we'd have conversations and she'd check in on me. And just about every time she'd say, you know, would you like to talk on a deeper level? Because I can see that, this, that, and the other. And she asked me, I don't know, 3, 4 times, 3, 4 times. And every time, no, no, I got it. I probably said that to her. I got it. I'm fine. And right. She kept asking. And finally, that fourth time, I think I was having a really rough day. And I think I felt safe enough with her to, I cried.
Hmm.
Right. And she asked me again, would you like to have a deeper conversation? And I said, yes. Right. And then freaked out for a week until this conference because I didn't know. I did not know coaching at that point
Hmm.
at all. Period. I
Same.
didn't know what the heck I was gonna, right. And so we had that conversation. And the enrollment conversation, which I didn't know what that was. And now I do. And she invited me to work with her. And I was like, no. Again, God love her. She was like, okay, right. but she kept connecting with me. And it was not very long after that.
Mhm.
We were talking and I think I was having another hard day. Surprise, surprise. And she was like, the offer is still open, whatever. And I was just like, okay, right. That was the shift. This woman did such a lot of heavy lifting. I did a lot of heavy lifting. We both did a lot of work on me. And it was many, many, many years, right? So that was my first introduction to coaching was her. And about that time, I was also not loving being a professional organizer anymore. I was tired of dealing with everyone else's shit. I I'm like, I can't move and reorganize and get, I've come home covered in dust and dirt and God knows what else. You have no idea. And I was just like, no, this is not mine. This is not me anymore. I feel like there's more that I'm meant to do. There's a bigger something out there. And so I was like, this coaching thing is interesting. Oh, hey, here's a coaching course. It's pretty intensive. You know what? I'm going to learn how to coach people. I'm going to learn how to coach people. And so I get into this coaching course and I quickly realized, oh, I have to work on myself too. I have to work on myself first before I can. No, I just want to coach people. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, between coaching with Carol and between working through this coaching course while I was learning to be a coach and also learning to deal with my stuff, that's how I learned coaching. And so it was probably a 3-year, 4-year process. Got out of that, finished the training, and then I stayed being a professional organizer for like another year because I was like, oh, I know this.
Mhm.
I can do this. I don't like it, but I can do it. And then
Mm.
it came to the point of, ooh, okay, Wendy, what are you going to do? You got this training. You're not doing anything with it. It has helped you. Carol's helped you. You think you can help others. You've come a long way. So you can help yourself. And that's proven that you can help others. What are you doing? And so it was time to shit or get off the pot.
Mhm. Mhm.
And 2017, I was like, okay, I'm going to make a clean break and I'm going to step fully into coaching and I'm going to let all of my organizing clients know that, finish up, done. And I did that.
And it's been easy ever since.
Oh God, it's been such a breeze.
Alright, and I say that I jokingly say that because because I always going being an entrepreneur,
Oh,
and I don't care what you choose to do in
oh,
entrepreneurship, it is
right.
it is the biggest personal development plan with a compensation package on the back end.
That's
And it is not like a compensation plan and then you grow. No, you grow so that you can have a compensation plan in your business.
bingo.
And I remember when I hired my first coach, I was like, show me how to build what you have. She had like a 6-figure business and coaching
Yeah.
clients and da da. And the first 9 months of it, I just cried and cried and I wasn't making any money. And I'm like, what the hell? Like I wasn't judging her. I was just like, what's going on? Then I
Yeah.
understood that if I didn't go through that 9 months, I would not have the business I have today. I would not have hit 6 figures. I
Yep.
would not have hit any of the milestones that I hit if I
Mhm.
didn't have that first year of like,
Right.
I used to joke around that she cracked me like a walnut. You know, she just like cracked me open.
Great way to
And
yeah.
so in what you're sharing, you got so you had the coach, your first coach. And did someone suggest you to hire a coach, or did you just research it or figure it out or just have the intuition to do it? Because
No, I met it was, again, divine intervention. I met Carol after my insight on the airplane.
okay.
I feel like the divine went, okay, she's got this piece. Great. Send Carol in.
Yeah. So let's pin this too for everybody because I always want you guys to walk away with something when we're having these conversations with my guests because
Mhm.
we don't listen to that. Like it's pretty rare, but there are things, God, universe, whatever you believe in, that is just being put in front of you left and right.
Oh, yeah.
And because we believe it's got to be a certain way, because we're closed off. For example, you said I stayed in the business longer, the
Mhm,
organizing business longer
mhm.
than I wanted to, even though I hated it and I was unhappy. And I
Right.
was just like, but I just knew it. How many of you listening are sitting in something that you know in your gut is no longer serving you? It's no longer aligned with you. It's no longer, but you're just like, but I got to make it work. I got to make it work. And in the chapter I just finished in my book, we just finished editing it with my editor. It's about the day that I got fired, and there was this intuition that knew that like it was the right thing to happen, even though it was
Yeah.
a very hard thing to go through, right?
Right.
But I asked you about the coaching thing because for me, I was laughing. I saw a friend who was really happy online, and we had the same like business industry that we were in, and
Yeah.
I called him up. Like I booked a room while I was at work because we were in constant meetings, but I had like a block open, and I
Yeah.
booked a room and said I had to make a call. I called my
Right.
friend. I'm like, I'm unhappy. Why are you happy? Please tell me what's going on. And he started laughing. He's like, he's like, what? Like, what's going on? And I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not really feeling my job anymore. I know there's something not right. I just don't know what to do, but I'm making it
Right.
work because it's my money, it's my income, it's my benefits.
Right.
He's like, let me tell you about coaching. And he found this company that I did the schooling with, HCI. And
Okay.
he said, imagine taking all the skills that we have that we've been doing for decades and putting it into
Mhm,
our own business and helping people in our own way. And I was like, what? Like
mhm,
this is like a magical thing, you
mhm,
know? And so
mhm.
so I do find it interesting on
Yeah.
how we all have had these intuitive nudges, intuitive ahas through divine or
Right.
God that have led us to something, to someone, or this and that. And the more aware we are of that, I believe easier life gets. The more we are
Oh,
aware and
heck
awakened
yeah.
to it, right? And we listen and we let it
Yes.
and we allow it. We don't try to control it. And this is one of the key shifts that the I Got It girl does. She's no longer trying to orchestrate and control every little fucking thing going on in life. She actually goes, all right, what do I need to know, God? What do I need to know, universe? And lets it fall.
Right. Yes, and so much. I mean, it's just it's an easier way to live.
Mhm.
It's glorious. And I tell you what, I check my messages every morning. Not like an answering machine, but just like, hey God, any messages? And yeah, message this morning was pay attention.
Mm.
I went,
Mm.
okay, okay. And it came up. So I was in Facebook and Messenger messaging my collective, right? My ladies.
Mhm.
And a message, not a message, it was a post from a woman I know popped up. It was this long, and boy, she's me 10 years ago.
And say she's the version of you before now, right?
And I went, oh, this got it. Okay. I would not have paid, I would just have scrolled right through. And in this, I was paying attention. And so I just sent her a message on Messenger and just said, I see you. I get you, my darling. And
Yes.
if you want to talk, I'm here. Right. So yeah,
It's got goosebumps.
we have no control over anything.
Nothing.
The 10-year ago me would have been like, oh my God, no, I have to hold
Oh,
on even tighter. And now I'm like,
totally.
thank God I don't have control over anything.
I mean, seriously, like I thought I was the only one doing this thing called life alone, solo. No one's helping me. I'm good. I got like seriously thought that I was in control. Like I got this thing.
Right?
And
Oh yeah, the
then when I
harder I
realized,
push. Yeah.
yeah, the harder I push, the more I hold on, the more I like calculate. And here's a good one. And you probably were this too. I am an expert problem solver.
Oh
I
yeah.
was addicted to problem solving so much I'd create problems so I could solve them.
I
That
don't
was
know
my
if I create
identity.
them. Dang, girl.
Like,
Okay.
but I didn't purposely create them.
Right,
I
right.
energetically created them. So it
Oh,
gave me
I
my
was probably
identity.
doing
It kept
that.
me kept my identity. Like, who am
Yeah.
I if I'm not solving problems? Who am I if I'm not
Yeah.
trying to figure out financial woes? Who am I if I'm not
Yeah.
trying to fit?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Okay,
my
so
God.
right. So we could probably talk for a long time, and we've already know this about each other. And so, but I want to make sure they know how to stay in touch with you because something you said today is probably going to hit home for somebody. So, one, how can they stay in their world? How can they reach out to you? How can
Yeah.
they be part of your world? And yeah, start there. and then I'll ask you my last question.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you can find me at my website, coach-wendy.com. If you scroll to the bottom, you should see icons for Facebook. So click that, send me a message. I'm on Instagram now. It's Lauren Graham's fault, but whatever. There'll be a little icon down there if I remember to do that. Send me an email. It's just
Mhm.
Wendy at coachwendy.com. However you desire to reach out. It's all good.
And I actually have her and our dear friend Stephanie on my website because I was on their podcast, and their
Right.
podcast is on mine. And what's the name of your podcast again?
The Smiling Souls.
Yes, I love that name. I love it,
Thank
love it, love
you.
it. And so we'll drop links to all of that. And can they find your podcast on your website?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I had to
Awesome.
think, I'm like, yes, it is.
Awesome. And so the last thing I want to just kind of wrap this up with is if there's
Yeah.
everything we talked about, if there's one thing you want to make sure they just never forget, like what's the one takeaway? I know there's so many nuggets when we do this, but what's the thing that like in your advice or your opinion, thoughts, whatever you want to call it, that you just don't want them to forget?
You've said it a couple of times, Jackie, and this is what stands out. You get to.
Mhm.
You get to fill in the blank. You get to do whatever you desire to do. And it's just allowing yourself to slow down, breathe, feel, and just ask self, what do I desire? That's it.
And if that felt weird in your body, as she said that, reach out to her. I promise you.
Please reach out to me. Yes.
There are so many of us that we're still growth and evolution. We're still growing. We're all still evolving.
Oh,
So
yeah.
by no means are we saying that like, we got it all. Just kidding. Cause
Yeah.
we're not, I got it girls fully. We are, but not fully. But there's times you'll hear something that we say and it triggers you. If that
Yep.
right there
Mhm.
triggered you and you wanted to
Yep.
say, but Wendy, like, but then stop and reach out to her. Reach out
Yeah.
and have a conversation with her.
Thank you.
And she's just a good person to know. She's good juju. So,
Oh,
all right.
thank
Well,
you,
I love
Jack.
you, girl. Thank you for coming
Oh,
on.
love you too.
We appreciate having you here. And guys, next time you are curious on if you're feeling burnt out and you're like, oh, just come back to this episode, listen to some of the pointers, some of the tips and stuff that Wendy shared. And I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget to follow and subscribe wherever you're watching this, whether it's YouTube or whether you're listening to it on podcast channels of your choice. Don't forget to hit the button because then other people get to see and hear magical humans like Wendy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.